Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about something very interesting. Did you know that you can make someone do something, change their behavior, or do a certain habit, not just by simply motivating them? That's overrated, guys. If you try to convince someone logically, a lot of the times, yeah, they take the information in, but they don't actually do the stuff. So how are you able to convince someone to do something without even telling them? It's your environment, guys. So what do I mean by that? Stay tuned so I can go ahead and let you guys know. So today we are going over chapter 6 of this great book, and I'm really excited. I really enjoyed this chapter. It talks a lot about how your environment impacts your behavior and helps you create certain habits. So the book, I really like that it provides certain examples for what it's talking about. So the first example is by this primary care physician that wanted to see if they can create healthy eating habits. So what they did at this hospital cafeteria, when they reorganized how it was all set up. So they wanted to motivate people to drink more water. What did they do? They didn't tell anyone that they want them to drink more water and gave them the benefits of water, that it gives you better skin, etc. What they did do is before they would check out, they would place a basket full of water there. And they also put different baskets of water bottles in different areas of the cafeteria. And what ended up happening is that these people were buying a lot more water. So these were the results. 3 months after, soda sales dropped 11.4%. There weren't any changes in the placement of the soda or anything. The only thing they did is made water a lot more accessible. Water bottle sales went up by 25.8%. And the great thing is that they weren't told to buy more water. They weren't motivated to go buy more water and told the benefits of water. What happened is that it was a lot easier and more accessible for them to get this water. So they chose that instead. The thing is that we like to do things that are easiest. So in the first law, it talks about being obvious. So this is one of the examples of being obvious. So no one was told anything, they just made the easier choice. Water was near, so they got it. We chose obvious, easy options. People choose products not because what they are, but where they are. So that's something to definitely keep in mind when you are thinking about changing your habits and your behavior. So what the author is saying, how can you implement this in your life, right? So there are certain things that you can do to trigger cues around your environment for you to be able to do things. So some things that I personally do, for example, when I want to drink more water, so I just make it more visually available to me. So next to my front door, when you walk in, I have my bottles of water, my stacks of packages that I have of water, and it makes me get a water bottle when I walk into my house. And then I also place one on my desk because I work from home, so it's easily accessible. And then anytime I leave my house, the water bottles are also there by the door, so I go ahead and get one. And this isn't just with me, it's also with my daughter. She also is in the habit of drinking water all day because we just have it all over, so we can go ahead and drink it. And other examples of this that I do is, for example, I want to go to the gym after work, and I put my gym shoes underneath my desk. So once it's 6 o'clock, I have my socks already in my shoes. I put on my socks, I put on my gym clothes, and I go ahead and take off. So my environment, I set it up in a sense that it just reminds me, gives me those friendly reminders to go ahead and do what I plan to do. So I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. So your habits change depending on the room you are in and the cues in front of you. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Despite our unique personalities, certain behaviors tend to arise again and again under certain environment conditions. So this is not just in your home. There are some habits that you have that are unconscious, that you're not conscious that you're doing. So one example of that is, let's say you go to a party with your friends, you're around your friends, you're surrounded by music, you're surrounded by alcohol. You are more than likely to drink with your friends, because that's what your environment is. If you're at home, you're not going to be taking shots, but your environment makes you more comfortable when it's so obviously everywhere. So you're going to go ahead and join. So the environment you are in, the people you're around, it definitely has an effect on your habits. So that's always important to keep in mind. Another thing about your environment, it's important to have things separated in your life, because then you start mixing certain habits you do for certain things. So, I have certain habits when I'm at work, I have certain habits when I'm at home, and certain habits when I go exercise. So when you start mixing all these in, it can start causing confusion in your head, and your brain's gonna do the simpler thing. So things I do that I associate certain behaviors, at nighttime before I'm gonna read, I go to my couch and I sit there and I read. So I already know after the gym and I shower and I eat, when I go on the couch, that's when I'm gonna read for about an hour or two. I try to. And so I associate the couch with reading, and I leave a book nearby so I can remember to read that book later on. My room, I keep it very simple. I just have my bed in there, a chair, and when I go in my room before I go to sleep, I meditate for 10 minutes and then I go to sleep. So my room, the behaviors I associate with my bedroom are meditation and sleeping. I have a separate area for my desk in my living room so I can separate work from my home life. When this whole pandemic thing happened and we were told to work from home, it took me a little bit of adjusting and it was affecting my mental health. I had my desk in my room. I work at a law firm. It's very high pace and a lot of responsibility. So when the desk was in my room is for sleeping, right? But when my desk was in there at nighttime, I would have nightmares about the clients. And I actually couldn't even sleep in my room anymore. Didn't like looking at my desk because it would remind me of work, that I ended up sleeping in my living room. I know it sounds a little drastic. So I was like, okay, let me move my desk to the living room so I can associate work in the living room and have my room back for sleeping. Once I did that, it really did help me separate my home life from work life. So the book that talks about that you want to design your environment, create certain areas for certain tasks, and try not to mix them, because what ends up happening is you'll end up doing the easier task. So for example, if you generally go and play video games on the couch, when you go sit on the couch, then you're more than likely to go play video games. You also want to make things, behaviors or things you want to do, obvious and be able to see them. So let's say, for example, you want to play a guitar, then you want to put the stand maybe in your living room instead of having it hidden in your closet, because you're not seeing it, then you're less likely to use it. So I thought that was very cool. It says here, in humans, perception is directed by the sensory nervous system. We perceive the world through sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. But we also have other ways of sensing stimuli. Some are conscious, but many are non-conscious. It says the most powerful of all human sensory abilities, however, is vision. The human body has about 11 million sensory receptors. Approximately 10 million of those are dedicated to sight. Given that we are more dependent on vision than on any other sense, it should come to no surprise that visual cues are the greatest catalyst of our behavior. A small change in what you see can change to a big shift in what you do. So maybe try that, try to do a little thing, like maybe put more water bottles on your desk. Maybe that will help you drink more water. So try to put little triggers that will remind you to do certain behaviors or motivate you to do them, in order to help you out and create these wonderful habits that you can do. So here are a few ways you can redesign your environment and make the cues for your preferred habits more obvious. So if you want to remember to take your medication each night, put your pill bottle directly next to the faucet on the bathroom. If you want to practice guitar more frequently, place your guitar stand in the middle of the living room. So these are just some examples the book provides. And it also says here, if you want to make a habit of a big part of your life, make the cue a big part of your environment. Most persistent behaviors usually have multiple cues. The same strategies can be employed for good habits. By sprinkling triggers throughout your surroundings, you increase the odds that you'll think about your habit throughout the day. Make sure the best choices is the most obvious one. Making a decision is easy and natural when the cues for good habits are right in front of you. Environment design is powerful not only because it influences how we engage with the world, but also because we rarely do it. Most people live in a world others have created for them, but you can alter the spaces where you live and work to increase your exposure to positive cues and reduce your exposure to negative ones. Environment design allows you to take back control and become the architect of your life. I really like the wording of this book. I think it has really great and valuable information here. And I really hope that, you know, it starts helping you guys as much as it's helped me so far. I really enjoyed reading this. But yes, remember, one space, one use. If you live in a little home like I do, then just section it off. Like, you know, in my home, I have my living room area. I sit in that certain area for my reading. My desk area is for my work. My table is strictly for my food. And my room is strictly for meditation and for sleeping. So I don't even read in my book. I read in my living room. So creating little things like that can definitely help you create a routine, and hopefully it encourages you to do the behaviors you want to do and create the habits you want to do. So I will be making another video for the next chapter. Really been enjoying this book. This is the second time I read it now. If you like content like this and you would like to review the book with me, I did leave a link below that will link it to Amazon. You can follow along. We can review the chapters together. And if this is something you like, feel free to subscribe. I will be here doing videos pretty often throughout the week. For sure, Saturday, Sunday. I'll see how it goes throughout the week. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to listening to me, and I hope everyone has a great one. Goodbye.